This is Grandmaster Exorcist, and I have had this bold prediction sitting inside my head for the past 6 months, ever since Activision Blizzard filed a cease and desist against Surreal Realm and their team of modders. The prediction is that Microsoft would either retract those cease and desist letters, or refuse to enforce them, ignoring on purpose any future development into SM2. But Exorcist, how do you know this, and how do you know you're correct? Well, if I'm incorrect, you all owe me a dislike, each. However, if I am correct, post-acquisition, you owe me likes instead. Activision sent one cease and desist letter to stop SM2. Activision also sent 4 goddamn cease and desist letters to Momo, who was developing Boy, for Black Ops 3. I'm actually appalled that the SM2 developers backed down after just one. Even though this video is not about me criticizing SM2 and all of the developers that I had the privilege to meet on their Discord server, this is one of 3 critical remarks I will give them. More on those later. So, who is to say that Microsoft will file another cease and desist, or any, to attack custom modded Call of Duty clients that already exist, attack the ones in development, or attack the developers of cancelled clients that may have a chance at resurrection? Will they even cease and desist Thug Pro, as it is also an Activision property? I certainly won't say. I have reason to believe that Microsoft will take or enforce no such action. It might not be my petition that convinces them how important the modding community is to the gaming industry. Watch this documentary about the creation of the Xbox, the same type of renegades, as they were called by Bill Gates, then CEO of Microsoft, who created this legendary game console, and the consoles to follow, as well as Microsoft's gaming brand, that added countless innovations to the gaming industry, as well as giving Sony, a company that was dominating the console gaming market for the previous decade, at least an aspect of competition. They are no different from the renegades who developed all of these Call of Duty clients. Although they are from different age generations, all have shared parallel goals in their careers and lives. I don't need to explain the rest. What I'm trying to say here is that Microsoft, Xbox, and Phil Spencer may give the modding community their blessing and permission to create modded clients, but on these 3 predictable conditions. 1. Paid license ownership. 2. Work for Microsoft and affiliated companies for at least a year, while at last, actually getting paid for their work. 3. Cause no effect on the actual game itself, such as giving the user aimbot and wall hacks. At least the first and third terms are possible, as only Momo would express interest in working for Microsoft. However, let's say Microsoft gave them a wink and a nod, post-closure of the Activision Blizzard acquisition, and their 3 terms were obeyed. We could see the revival of the SM2 project, among many other good things to come out of this acquisition. Microsoft did not attempt to acquire Activision just for the sake of owning it. The developers of SM2, SAS, JTAG, Blue Ghosts, etc. I have something to say to you.
Get back to work!
You owe us, the community you've established and overhyped for the past 2.5 years. You owe us SM2. Microsoft hands you permission to develop it on a silver platter. Get off your fucking asses and get back to work, and I'm still being polite at the moment. Okay, fine, can you please bring back the SM2 client? If you do, can you also do 10 things for the community that really wants to play it? Not just me, even though the ideas are coming from me, they make a lot of sense when you think about it. Chapter 1, Migrate from H1 to H2. But stop Exorcist. H2 was released with only a campaign and no multiplayer. I'm aware of that. Microsoft has no need to release it because of the new Modern Warfare game. But what if there was a way you can earn double XP tokens, new weapons, and cosmetics for Modern Warfare 3 2023, by playing Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer, and vice versa? If they had a reward system like this in place when Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered came out, I would have spent an equal amount of time in both games, instead of just the latter. This would give Microsoft the motivation to have two game releases in the same year because consumers would be switching between games to unlock rewards. This was actually how Black Ops Cold War got me to play Warzone, even if it was for one stream. If somebody shared this idea with Microsoft, we'd get a fully finished Modern Warfare 2 remastered game, and SM2 would get the upgraded IW4 engine they deserve. However, in the meantime, I'm perfectly fine with them using H1. I boldly assume the SM2 dev team kept working on the game after the cease and desist. It's not gone, deleted, non-existent. If I were a developer of SM2 and I was smart, I'd keep it on an external SSD. So basically, it makes a lot of sense for the SM2 dev team to use H2 when, or if, Microsoft releases the Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered multiplayer build. Chapter 2, Add more content to SM2 that wasn't even originally planned. We don't need the Discord server to return, and we don't need more suggestions. The SM2 developers already know what makes a good Call of Duty experience. However, I would love to see more content and features that never even made it to the drawing board. A few ideas of mine, I will share in later chapters, but I want to see more content that wouldn't have existed in the finished product, prior to the cease and desist. Chapter 3, Expand the SM2 development team. I know that Momo had a minor role in moderating the SM2 Discord server, and also had a minor role in development, but that's the second critical thing I will hold against the SM2 development team. They never utilized his full potential. This man is a fucking genius. He is literally the Elon Musk of Call of Duty client development. What I'm trying to say is that he has talent and a lot of potential. But he was never featured in any of the SM2 playtests, nor was he an admin on Discord. From what I was able to observe, Momo was nothing more than a consultant for the SM2 development team. That was a mistake. He should have had a more important role than that. If SM2 will ever be revived and eventually released, I hope they utilize the full potential of people like Momo, because their work contributions to the project will go a long way. Other people who would make good developers for SM2 are people like Rabies and Spyro, responsible for porting past and future Call of Duty weapons into Black Ops 3 Zombies. I wouldn't also mind seeing more members of the Plutonium client development team, and X Labs also join the SM2 developer roster. I would be thrilled to see that kind of progression. Chapter 4, Work for Microsoft. You'll have to gain their trust somehow. They ought to be impressed with all the work you've done on the SM2 project, the other Call of Duty clients, and even the animated wallpaper app Momo has developed. Microsoft is the first company I can think of that would see potential in creative people, and offer job recruitment letters instead of cease and desists. If they do, please accept them, even if they force you to relocate to the nearest Microsoft headquarters. Even if the work offered is way too ambitious, I recommend you take it. You have to get paid for the potential you've displayed and for the work you've done. Rockstar Games did that with 5M. This is possibly the only way you could solidify permission to develop and publicly release the SM2 mod. Microsoft would be almost too happy to compete with itself, in a way. Imagine the SM2 developers working for Microsoft on the next Call of Duty, while working on the SM2 client on their lunch break. Chapter 5. Selectable Weapons of Mass Destruction. One thing I have asked the SM2 team to do for the longest time is to do something that Call of Duty hasn't already done yet. Every Call of Duty game invents something new. We got Uplink in Advanced Warfare, we got Fracture in Black Ops 3, and we got Warzone in Modern Warfare 2019. Why couldn't SM2 invent its own features and game modes? One of my ideas for a fresh new innovation was selectable nukes. I like my DNA bombs, enemy MCLA likes his MOABs, the gaming definition likes his tactical nukes, and Pro Moves likes his V2 rockets and MGBs. Call of Duty World War II gave us an unlockable 30-kill streak reward after Prestige. I liked that. What if we could unlock one with every Prestige token we earn? What if we could pick and choose our nukes, and use their effects to change the match? Modern Warfare 2 nuke effect, ends the match. Modern Warfare 3 MOAB, kills all enemies, applies an EMP effect, and grants double XP for the team that used it. Ghost's Chem Strike, kills all enemies, distorts the map, and grants double XP for the team that used it. Advanced Warfare DNA Bomb, kills all enemies, applies system hack effect, and grants double XP. Infinite Warfare Deatomizer Strike, ends the match. World War II, kills all enemy players, and applies fire damage to enemies for 5 seconds. Modern Warfare 2019 nuke, ends the match. Black Ops Cold War nuke, kills all enemy and friendly players, but doesn't end the match. Vanguard V2 rocket, ends the match. Modern Warfare 2 MGB, ends the match. All of these selectable weapons of mass destruction would have the same in-game effects and UI countdowns. Chapter 6, Universal Matchmaking and Steam Deck Support. Do you know what I really loved about Black Ops 1? If you sucked at the game, you could pretend you were good by playing combat training, which allowed you to rank up against bots. Even if the player base is shallow, I don't mind server-filling bots. They would be great in Steam Deck-only servers. Not many people own Steam Decks, so expect the player base in those servers to be low. The Steam Deck uses a custom APU and display when used in handheld mode. When these hardware conditions are met, they should get matched up into their own servers so they don't get cut to pieces by mouse and keyboard players, unlike in Apex Legends. When the Steam Deck is docked to an external display and other peripherals are plugged in, then the matchmaking is normal and you can play against other PC players. Another thing Call of Duty hasn't done yet is fully support the Steam Deck. I know Black Ops 3 runs really well, but it still isn't a perfect game. This is an opportunity for the SM2 development team to capitalize on a revolutionary new device and give a way better mobile Call of Duty experience that isn't Call of Duty Mobile. Burn. If it takes another 2 years to make an anti-cheat that even Linux can't break, I'd be willing to wait that long to experience SM2. Do what you must to keep the games clean and fair, but consider the potential of making SM2 the first Steam Deck compatible Call of Duty experience. On the topic of anti-cheat. Chapter 7, Universal Anti-Cheat. Give us an anti-cheat that requires Steam account verification, zero tolerance for existing VAC bans, mobile phone verification, third-party program interference detection, undercover developers using cheats to get those programs flagged. Whatever it takes to prevent cheaters from existing in SM2, just fucking do it. If it takes over 2 more years of development in order to create an unbeatable anti-cheat, I can live with that. Chapter 8. Merch. I was planning on paying a custom snapback hat maker to make some SM2 merchandise to rock out in real life while I waited for development to complete, but then I lost the PNG files from the assets page, and then the cease and desist came. Now I can't replace them anymore. If anybody still has the full resolution image files, hit me up. In order to support the future of this project, and to prove to Microsoft that we want to play this game, we need to sport the merch that represents this mod. Let us make our own SM2 merch. Chapter 9, Open an alpha and beta playtest to the public. When and where? I don't care. It has to happen, and it has to be inclusive to the community that really wants to play it. What I dislike about post-COVID-19 Call of Duty releases, Black Ops Cold War, and later, is that they were reserved for specific content creators and CWL pro players. My favorite among them, Dr. Disrespect himself, was never invited. Prior to COVID-19, everybody was welcome if they either had an invite or were local to the playtest event. This included the audience of the Call of Duty keynotes. It was never a mile-high club. Yes, I've never been to a Call of Duty event in my life, even though this camo is actually pretty fucking amazing, but I was never disappointed. Even when I saw SM2 developers play test the game, I wasn't jealous. I liked watching them, they were entertaining and refreshing, just like every showcase. As developers, you have a right to playtest your creations when they're not ready yet, that's okay. For the first 5 years of development, I've only ever let close friends playtest Project Gracie. We don't want our fans to play incomplete projects. However, sniping was at its most overpowered during the Black Ops Cold War Alpha, and despite only being a good sniper on PC, I had to wait until the Black Ops Cold War Alpha on PlayStation. They nerfed the snipers hard when the beta came out, and that was really disappointing. When these showcases exclude the fans, and the subscribers of these well-known content creators in favor of the latter, it doesn't show us how to play when the alphas and betas are public. Instead, it just gives Activision the authority to brag about how more important their partners and sponsored creators are than the people who will eventually pay for the game. Even XDefiant was a disgrace when it came to how it handled its betas. I hope SM2 never takes a page out of that book. I don't mind the developers playtesting SM2, in fact, I want to see more of it, but they should never do a content creator only club. If they create a limited timed alpha or beta event, where for a certain span of time, there is a playtest. I hope it is open to everybody, except cheaters. I'd like to play SM2 with these YouTubers and content creators, instead of watching them play and never getting the chance. Press F to pay respects to the people who watched the Black Ops Cold War reveal, but passed away before the PlayStation Alpha. Give us the opportunity to earn and unlock rewards exclusive to the Alpha and Beta events. Ones we can use for the remainder of the playtests, that we can use in the actual game. Chapter 10. Showcase more in the Showcase tab. OG suggestion right there. Wait, never mind, do not bring back the Discord server until SM2 releases, that way you can put more time into developing the game. The third thing I want to criticize the SM2 development team for is the fact that they wasted too much time talking to us and moderating that stupid Discord server. They wasted too much time responding to my stupid ideas. But they did take one idea and pin it to their general chat. Showcase more in the Showcase tab. If I did not say that, I doubt they would have done as many showcases as they did, or even showed us the tactical nuke. Instead of creating a new Discord server, just showcase more stuff. You don't need to do a dev blog, or do a playtest with other developers every week. Pace yourselves for that kind of stuff, but at least show us new weapon inspect animations, in-game camos, score streak demonstrations, mechanics, etc. Do that on a weekly basis, and all the other larger showcases, such as development blogs, and playtests, once per quarter of the year. Teases and snippets of content, even screenshots, please show those at least once a week. Not only was it fun for me to see new showcases and announcements while consuming my morning coffee, but that's a good way to keep everybody interested in SM2 instead of screaming in a Discord server to ask you to release the game already. I've never ever done such a thing. I'm willing to wait for as long as it takes. Just like the Modern Warfare 3 beta, I will play SM2 when my subscribers or viewers are allowed to play it, at least the ones who also own a PlayStation 4. I'm not impatient, I never once asked the SM2 development team if they could, and I quote, release it already, end quote. I had more patience than every other YouTuber and content creator who made a video about the SM2 project. I'll wait for as long as it takes, as long as the developers keep showcasing more in the Showcase tab. If you've made it this far in the video, I would like to personally thank you by attaching a heart and responding to your comments. If any of the information or details seem incorrect or out of place, let me know. I don't really have much of an outro to give you, but basically what I was trying to say was, that Microsoft possibly has an interest in the SM2 project, and has the authority to save it. I just know it. When you think about it too, it will all make sense. However, if I'm wrong, you're well within your rights to let me know about it, in the form of dislikes. We'll see what happens after this upcoming October. Microsoft knows the importance of the modding community, and so does the Walt Disney Company. If the latter company sent a cease and desist letter to Harrison Fogg, the creator of my favorite mod in the world, I'd drive down to California, march into the nearest Disneyland, and execute Order 66. Thanks for watching this video. Please watch my previous video about SM2 and Microsoft's acquisition of Activision. It will be linked in the description. Grandmaster Exorcist says hate me. Oh, and by the way, I still think Sass is a girl.